From the Opubco Studios at Britain and Broadway, you're listening to a News OK podcast.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It is the Ladies' Room, our second show. We're excited to be here. We're excited because it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a special guest and everything. I'm Angi Bruss.
I'm Paige Leslie.
And Jacquelyn Farris.
And joining us this afternoon is Elizabeth Taylor with the Oklahoman.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth is involved in a bunch of organizations, and she's just going to talk about how that plays a role in her life and her career and social life. So tell us about some of the groups that you're involved in.
Well, some of the groups I'm involved in, one being Leadership Oklahoma City. I am on their alumni board. I'm a graduate of the Loyal Class 1, which is linking Oklahoma City's young adult leaders. Jacquelyn, you were in that class.
I was class 2. We were pretty fun. It was a great organization, though, and they are taking applications now. So anyone that listens to this podcast, sees this podcast, should go to their website and check it out. It's a great organization, and it's for young adults to get linked into the community, which is a great way to get started.
Yeah, their website's actually www.lokc.org, and they also have a signature program that is for individuals that have been in the community a little bit longer, and just the true mission of Leadership Oklahoma City is to educate individuals about how they can be involved in the community. So it's a really great cause. Another group that I'm involved in is professional development-wise is the Association of Women in Communications, which, as you ladies might be interested in, is an organization that really concentrates on women in their various communication roles and how they can help each other in their careers. And we focus on all kinds of different topics that are hot in the industry, as well as kind of forming those social relationships with other women in the community. So that's really nice. And the third organization that I'm involved in that's taking up some of my time right now is the Junior League of Oklahoma City. I'm going through my provisional year, so those that know about the Junior League know that that is a year that takes up a lot of your time. I spend a lot of time working at the remarkable shop over on May Avenue, and it's a great organization that really concentrates on women and getting them in community roles and focuses on education, and their primary cause is literacy, which is something that's really a passion for me working in the newsroom at the Oklahoman and being someone that read a lot as a child. So it's another neat organization.
So you're the essence of having a lot on your plate.
Yes, exactly.
Don't you have something else on your plate, though, through your church, I believe?
Yes, I do. I volunteer at my church on the communications team. So that's just Westminster Presbyterian Church, and give a shout out to them. And but yes, that's another organization that I'm involved in.
So with all of this stuff on your plate, which I think you listed maybe more than 5, how do you juggle all your organizations and activities with social life, which, is important to keep you sane, and as well as your job? Because I know that you have a serious career here, and doing all of those activities can be hard to juggle.
Well, I think balance is key. I think prioritizing your commitments. My Outlook calendar, I would be lost without it. And then, you just have to know when to say no. You have to try not to stretch yourself too thin, as we were talking about. And I think you also have to make sure you're making time for yourself. As women, we've got a lot going on with our careers, our, other institutions that we're involved with, as well as our families and our personal life. And so I think it's important to make time for yourself, and my morning workouts are key. So.
Oh, I bet that helps.
Yes.
I bet that does help. Nice. That a lot of times I've noticed, working out just helps alleviate stress and just everything.
Clear your mind.
Yeah. It's
just
amazing.
Decompose.
Yeah, it
and
really
get out
is.
frustrations.
Yes.
That poor treadmill has a lot of
wear and tear.
Oh, no.
Why do you think it's so important for women or just anybody to get involved in these types of organizations and programs?
Well, I think it's good for a couple of reasons. One, investment in your community. I think it's important whether people have been in Oklahoma City for a long time, have just moved to Oklahoma City. You care more about what's going on when you're involved in that community. Yeah. You're connected with individuals that care about the community. I think that's important. And I also think it's great for professional and personal connections. You meet great friends through these organizations. You meet people that can help you in your career through these organizations. So I think those are 2 great reasons to get involved.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. So it definitely has helped your career and your future career, networking, all of that.
Well, let's hope so. But yes, I think I went away for college to the University of Kansas and moved back to Oklahoma City after I graduated. And I have a complete different perspective on the city and my own new connections and new things going on because I've come back and kind of made those paths for myself. My parents are true inspirations for me. But, it was important for me to come back and make a life, kind of for myself and get involved. And I think it all worked out so far.
Nice.
What about advice about, like a individual picking out a particular organization? Do you have any advice on how someone should go about picking out the right organization or
I think
group?
research is the best thing to do to find things that you're passionate about, find things that fit into your schedule. There are so many different ways that we can all contribute that it's really important to find that passion and then to find that time that is going to fit into your schedule. So it's a realistic thing. But if it's, little kids in reading or if it's volunteering your time with elderly, if it's writing a check, no matter which organization you choose, they'll help you find ways to get involved. And I think that's the best thing to do is to do some research and start talking to other people that might be in your workplace or you might have met through those organizations about what else they're involved in.
From my experience, I serve on the board for Individual Artists of Oklahoma, and I am passionate about arts and am an artist myself. So serving on their board doesn't feel like a duty or an obligation. It's something I love to do, and it's just a way to be involved in the arts community here so I can stay connected, and the people I've met and the friends I've made are just really phenomenal. So it's been a great bit of my time. So I really think that just for anyone who's thinking of ways to get involved and they're not really sure how to, just make a list of what you're into and what makes you excited and what you're passionate about, and there's definitely an organization that will connect with that.
I was a mentor for about a year and a half with a charter school, Baptist Integris Charters, and it was amazing. It was Western Village Academy elementary school, and this little girl, what they do is they put you with someone in kindergarten, and then you go with them every year up until I guess elementary now goes up only to fifth grade. Yeah. It was different when I was in school. But anyway, so you go with them every year. So I started with her in kindergarten. The next year I was with her in first grade, and same girl every year. And so it's very neat. Yeah, so you build a relationship. You're with these kids. And then I moved to Florida, so I had to. But, obviously she got another mentor who's wonderful and works with her. But it's such a neat idea, because little girls and little boys are so... They want that, especially with this school in particular. They want that adult interaction. They really need that, Some of these kids were latchkey kids and didn't, that they weren't able to really be with their parents all the time. Some of them were, but some of them weren't. And so it was good for them, very, very healthy that they got that adult interaction and that friend and that companion and stuff like that. It was amazing. It was so neat, that feeling of just, being able to build a relationship with her. So you're right. Once you find a passion, go with it and find that organization that's going to fit it.
And also, if anyone's looking for a way to get involved in the community, I know that when you go to newsok.com, there are lists of places you can volunteer and civic organizations that are seeking volunteers. So you can go through that list and just start breaking it down to what your passions are. But thanks for joining us, Elizabeth.
Of course.
Angie, don't you have some news for us today?
Yeah, in the news, I've got, obviously, today is the big day that minimum wage hike kicks in today for all of the United States. And Oklahoma is one of, there's 20 states. Out of all the states, only 20 states will be affected by today's wage increase, because all these other states are, already $7.15 or $6.25, and we're still at the $5.15, so we're going to be going up to $5.85. Well, that's good news, obviously. But one interesting thing that I obviously heard about, and I was just curious what you guys thought about it with, women in this state, according to the Commission on the Status of Women, earn only 75 cents for every dollar that men earn. And this list, this is an Oklahoma Women's Network blog, and it says best and worst state economies for women, and has the best states and the worst states. Best states District of Columbia, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Vermont. Worst states, Arkansas, Louisiana, West Virginia, Mississippi, Kentucky. Well, we're not in the absolute worst, so that's the good news. Yay! But we are in the dishonorable mention. We're tied with Texas at number 40. And it just, obviously, we're a lower cost of living. So, that's the good thing is that, we may not be making a whole bunch of money, but at least, we also aren't paying a crazy amount for living. But obviously, this is talking about for women, that women are making less than men as an overall, in this state. We're ranked number 40 out of all the states, and that's not good. So, I was just curious what you guys thought, obviously, about that. Do you think that... I don't know. I mean, what can we do about this? Is there something, getting involved politically or just... I have no idea. I don't know how to change things like that. How do we stand up and say, wait a minute, we need to be tied. If we're doing the same job a guy is, why don't we get paid the same amount?
It could just be, a matter of education. But, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think about this issue. And you can email us at studio@opubco.com, and maybe we can read some of your thoughts on our show next week. But I think we're just about out of time. I think so. Thanks so much for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thank you for inviting me.
See you guys next week.
Goodbye.